Hi, guys. How are you today? This is a big day for us, guys. It's a big day because last night was off the chain. It's just so much to talk about. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. I mean, it was overall, as everyone's coming in before we get started, let's go by and just say, what did you think of it overall, Gabor?
I thought it was an okay episode. I don't think that it was, they could have kept the whole thing with Ray and Karen out of it and the whole Wendy and Eddie out of it. They could have kept that out of it.
But Ray and Karen's a part of the show.
It wasn't interesting.
Yeah.
Carrie, what did you think about overall?
Now, this is what I think. I think overall, if you had to take that one episode, it wasn't all that. It was the other two previous episodes that came into this. It's like a finale, but it was some closure to it. And I got that thing with the news of Monique actually quitting last night brings more stuff to it. But to be honest with you, I don't really truly know why Eddie and Wendy was even there. And why? I mean, at least of a seat.
All right. Well, look, let's get started. Last night, I thought it was excellent. I thought it was so good. I didn't get no closure. I just seen more questions to be asked. So let's get started.
Mm-hmm.
What I think was the most, well, it was so much going on. I wanted to start with Andy. Overall, people are going in on Andy Cohen. They said he was rude to Monique and out of line. Do you agree with that, Perry?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, through the whole reunion.
Yeah.
It's almost like he had a personal vendetta against it.
That's how you felt?
Yeah, it's like something. It's like an underlining, like personal hate. Like it's not just asking somebody a question.
Andy Cohen hates Monique. Hate?
Yeah, it's something there like that at this point. Yeah.
What about you, Gabor? What do you think of Andy's attitude towards Monique?
I didn't really see an attitude towards Monique. I think it's ludicrous for us to think that Andy was going to give Monique a pat on the back. I felt like he held her accountable and was shading her the same way he was reading the shady questions to Candiace about her getting dragged.
So you felt that
Gizelle didn't get those kind of questions.
Well, let me ask you this.
She didn't get dragged.
She did not get dragged. I mean, I could see what people are talking about. Let's not just last night, but when he was talking about what are you going to do now? Chris doesn't make much money. That was kind of rude. Do y'all think so?
Yeah.
He said that he didn't say that. What are you going to do now? Chris didn't make more money. He asked the women as a collective, how did the dynamic change with the money in the household? And Monique was saying that this was a little money. And I do think that he was kind of wrong with the questioning. Like, oh, well, he's not making that much money now. But if you don't know, you ask the question. But I just think that he failed to ask it in a way that was safe.
Well, look, knowing what we know now, which is Monique quits, knowing that they did not offer her, they kind of pushed her out by not offering her a full contract in what she had last season. Now, when you know now, do you think, Gabor, that he was going to get rid of Monique? Just knowing what we know now, that he basically fired her.
I think that he offered her a contract, so I don't think. So after Portia pulled Kenya's hair, Portia was not getting paid the same amount as the women for seasons. Wow. Really? She was not getting paid. Yeah, when they were released, what they were making, Portia was always the person that was under $1 million, and Cynthia was making more than her. And that's crazy. So yeah. When you do stuff like that, there's gonna be consequences. You know what I'm saying? I just think that it's crazy for us to think that Monique can attack somebody on TV and nothing is gonna happen to her. Something is gonna happen somewhere.
And this was his form of punishment, like messing with her contract and basically demoting her. Basically, do you agree, Perry? Do you think that Andy's mad at her for fighting?
Yeah, no, I think the fight had stuff to do with it, but I think it just drug along. So far that Andy was getting backlash.
Yeah.
And now, because really, if he was going to demote her or fire her, he could have did that right after the fight. Let's keep it real.
That's true.
But he chose to do nothing because the ratings was good.
But she tried to quit though. So she tried to get out of her contract after the fight happened. And word on the street is that Andy called her and asked her what she wanted to do, and she wanted to show her journey, her journey after the fight. And so they agreed on that. But she really wanted to quit the show afterwards, after the fight.
I mean, well, I'll get to that at the end. I think it was a good thing that she decided to quit. Hold on, guys. I left my phone on accident. All right, now let's talk about Chris. This is what people are saying. And I thought it was absolutely... People are saying that Monique and Chris were acting like bullies last night. They were acting like thugs. Chris knew what he was doing by standing up, intimidating the women, and that their behavior was uncalled for. I say to that, he's talking about his wife and his child. And you're going to be emotional. Do you think he was being a bully, Perry?
No. I mean, you know what? He was standing up for his wife. Now, the rest of them say things too, the rest of the husbands. But basically, he was standing up for his wife, and they act like that he went choking other women. No, he did not. He didn't lay a hand on another woman. So,
no one said choking, period, but they said he was intimidating. Because he's already big. Don't forget, he's big.
No. That's how they acting. Okay. Yeah. It's okay for Candiace to run his mouth, but when he run his mouth, it's a different story. Right, Gabor?
Well, coupled with, so I think that what made it look so crazy was that Chris had already threatened to slap them or stump them or whatever he said he was
on Instagram.
Yeah. So that coupled with him trying to stand up and talk, so when he stood up, I don't think that he was, so, I was waiting to see what Jamal was talking about, right? And I really didn't see it. When he was standing up, I don't think he was even talking to Gizelle. Do I think that he was coming for Gizelle extra hard? Yeah, but I don't think that it was enough for us. But it ain't me. But to me, I don't think it was enough for a security guard. But I can understand her having one. I could understand her having one after the things that he said that he would do online.
Yeah, and you know what though? I mean,
security guard.
I didn't understand the security guard when she was worrying about her reputation with Monique. I didn't understand the security guard last night, but maybe that's her new storyline. Seems how the phone husband ain't around. She might as well make the security guard part of the storyline because he's always there and attentive.
Was it the same one? He looked.
I don't know. I don't care if she rotating or not. But if he was a part-time guy, he there more than the phone husband.
Perry, you are not feeling Gizelle at all. You're not hiding the fact that you don't feel her. You said last night you think she should be fired. What you got against Gizelle? Because the story was brought to her from Gigi.
Well, I mean, I don't care where the story was brought. I mean, it's right where we at right now. She knows she got a lot to do with all this mess going on, gossiping and everything like that. Yeah. And for her to tell Chris, I don't want to hear another word from you. Well, he probably ain't, don't want to waste his time talking to you anyway.
Why was she mad at Chris, Gabor? Gizelle?
Because I think that, so the thing is, the hypocrisy is Monique plotted on Gizelle's relationship, right?
Right.
And so now we have Chris upset. Monique and Charisse said on camera that they plotted to get Gizelle back for something that Gizelle did to Charisse, right? And so Monique plotted on the show, but you can't pick and choose and, oh no, this is too far. Chris was like, oh, families and children are off, marriages and families are off limits, but so are we going to stop at marriages? Because this was actually Gizelle's boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? Ooh. And they have children that are going to see what y'all what y'all said on the show as well, you know what I'm saying? So it just can't be, let's protect Monique at all costs. Was Gizelle wrong for some of the language she was using? She called him a big MF. She shouldn't have done that,
Gizelle's attitude was just horrible, and you cannot deny it, even if you're Team Gizelle. She was acting ridiculous. The bodyguard was over the top. Calling him an MFer was off the top. She has to realize what she did to this man and his family. Now, I agree, and even Chris apologized for his behavior. What he said online, threatening them, that was out of line, but he mad. Do I think he would have actually did anything to these women? He was pretty mad. I don't think so, but he was pretty mad. I mean, it was really bad. Do I call Chris a bully and say he's intimidating? I don't think he meant to be that way, but it could come across that way. But he was mad. I keep saying that. people go crazy when you talk about their kids. Am I just giving him a pass, Gabor?
I mean, I feel like Chris brought it up on the show, and we seen Chris bring these rumors were 2 years ago. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
These are rumors 2 years ago, and he kept on saying plot. I don't think that it's anybody that watches the show that don't think that there was a plot. Everybody know that there was a plot that happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they never talked about it on the show, right? Gizelle never talked about it in her confessional. When they showed the clip, it showed that Chris was the first one who brought up the plot on the show when he brought up the baby looking like him, and then 8 days later, Gizelle was telling Robin about it, but she was just telling Robin about it, but she didn't say, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't, Chris brought it up. If they didn't want anybody to talk about it on the show, Chris shouldn't have brought it up.
Well, what do you think about Gizelle overall? Do you think she's a troublemaker, Gabor?
I mean, I think that she was going to do what she had to do to pay Monique back, period. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She was going to do what she had to do to get Monique back.
Okay, can I say this though?
Yeah.
I mean, because this could be the underlying thing here. When we keep saying it wasn't brung up on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Chris and Monique said it just wasn't aired on the show, right? Now, production heard people say things and cut that out. Why didn't they cut out the part where he brung it up?
They did cut it out.
No. Well, talking about the part where he asked about the baby?
Yeah.
They cut it out. We didn't see that until last night.
Okay.
I mean, but it feels like you got a beef to hold against Gizelle Perry. Like, you blame her for everything, even though the story was brought to her. And I play devil's advocate here until I can say my opinion. You're
the
saying,
whole thing is, I mean, she is the one, in my opinion, that's running all this game in the background. I think she's very unhappy, know her life is not going anywhere, and want to see misery out of somebody else.
those are powerful statements, Sanders, very powerful. What do you think about the fact that you said that you feel that Gizelle used the hell out of Candiace, but Candiace is a grown woman at the end of the day.
I get that, but okay, when you got an emotional friend that'll pop off, if I wanted somebody to pop off for me, I would find that emotional friend who I know I could just leak a few things to that person and have them sprout out. That's how she played Candiace.
Now, I agree that she played Candiace, but I'm saying at the end of the day, wasn't this Candiace's decision?
Yes, I mean, but I mean, she got to take ownership too, right?
Yeah. Of
her mouth, right? But what I'm saying is, Gizelle was the mastermind. Behind it. If she wasn't whispering in her ear, the Chihuahua wouldn't have popped off like that.
She played Candiace and Monique. I think that Gizelle played Candiace and Monique. Yeah. And I was shocked that we went the whole reunion without Monique or Candiace bringing Gizelle. You know what I'm saying? Taking it to Gizelle, because I feel like Monique was manipulated by, you know what I'm saying? Gizelle knew that she could try to be friends with her, cozy up under her, you know what I'm saying? To make her do whatever she wanted to do, because Monique has been waiting for their friendship.
Now, I agree with that. They both was played. Because I mean, she played both sides, just fight it out, and she sat back there and watch and talk to her husband on the phone.
Yeah.
I mean, you keep telling telephone husband. Listen, even telephone husband went after Monique for all of this stuff. But really, Jamal's just mad because he got outed. Don't you think so? I mean, they really did Monique wrong. What do you think about that, Perry?
Yeah, I mean, they did do it wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, because who is Jamal really mad at the end of the day? Who do you think he should be mad at? Gizelle. She the one concocted this dumb plan for y'all to fake a relationship together, and you agreed to it because you seen money and you saw status, and you should be mad at yourself, Jamal.
And lower child support payments.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I personally think that I go both ways. I think that Chris had a right to be mad, but then Gabor did bring up a point. This is 2 years later, but maybe he hasn't had a chance on live television to confront them until now. That's what I'm thinking.
But I say
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to cut you off, but I see this like whether 2 years or not, I don't think he's the only one kept it going on, because like I said, they talk outside of the show. Not everything's aired. this stuff was still going on with these women in the background.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So it didn't stop. They didn't stop it 2 years ago. I feel like it kept going.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I saw last night, it looked to me that if Candiace and Monique weren't on social media and it was just them together, that they probably could get back to a friendship, is what I saw last night. You know, but if without everybody, you know what I'm saying, having an opinion online, you know what I'm saying, you know, there's a lot of beefs that happen that the fans make up. You know what I'm saying? Those two will be able to.
Gizelle and Robin, they really are egging it on. Gizelle and Robin.
Yeah, and what I saw last night, it seemed to me that Monique and Candiace look like they can. It seemed to me that it looked like that they can work on their friendship without the show. You get what I'm saying? I wanted to see. In my mind, when I watched it before I heard Monique that she was leaving the show, I thought that in my mind that we were going to see Monique and Candiace probably kind of make up next season and get Gizelle and everybody else out of their friendship. And it's just unfortunate that Monique is not coming back.
Well, okay, so last night, Monique announced that she wasn't coming back. We tried to get in touch with you. You were at a party. What are your thoughts on Monique quitting?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just think that I wouldn't come back to the show if the rumors was going like that about my family neither. But Monique needs to. Monique started with the plots on the show. You know what I'm saying? She plotted on Gizelle first, right? Why was she? You know what I'm saying? Why do you think that nobody's gonna do it to you or nobody's not gonna come after you? If you plot on me, we plotting. You get what I'm saying?
I don't think she had a choice to quit. I think that she was pushed out by Andy Cohen.
I mean, she probably didn't want to take the pay cut. She probably didn't want to take the pay cut. You know what I'm saying? She probably felt that she was better than that. But I think it's ludicrous, as I said earlier, for her to think that she can just attack somebody on the show, you know what I'm saying, and not face any consequences for it.
Now, this Monique is not the first person that Andy Cohen has pushed out. But I would say out of everybody that he has pushed out, I say firing. Some people say, no, it's a demotion. Whatever it is, would be Kenya Moore. She took the pay cut, came back, became the main storyline, and now is back on top on the roster. How come Monique just didn't do that, Perry?
You know, now, I wouldn't give those ladies a satisfaction either of taking a pay cut and then less TV time when they are already talking all this trash about you, when you definitely do not need that money from Bravo. And you can make it elsewhere. Personally, I wouldn't do it.
But if you're not around to speak up for yourself, other people will do it for you. What do you think about that, Gabor?
I just don't. Next season, I don't want to hear Candiace say anything about Monique if she's not on the show. Her name should be brought up. You know.
What were you saying about that, Perry? I cut you off.
Well, no. I was just gonna say, really, it wouldn't matter. People are gonna talk about you regardless, whether you own the job or off the job. Obviously, they talked a lot that wasn't on air, so we know it's still gonna happen. Certain things you can't stop idiots from doing. Let's be clear. They feel like talking.
Let's be clear. Monique never needed the money. She needed the exposure. She wanted her businesses to, you know, she wanted successful businesses. That's why she joined the show, right? She wanted to be a socialite and she wanted to bring her businesses to the forefront. So she did need the show in that, in that way, but she didn't need the show for money.
All right. So, you know, we always combine what happened last night to what's going on in real time. And this person basically, AAE, agreed with you, Gabor, is that Monique does not need the money. She was the richest housewife on the show. So people were like, just let it go. It would have been too much. But in real time, Monique has other ventures. This is not a messy question. This is an upfront question. Is rapping one of them, Gabor? Let me ask Perry. I mean, listen, for me, when you're going to be a rapper, isn't there like an age gap for me? Or am I wrong about this? Most rappers are between teens, 20s, maybe early 30s when they get started at best. I mean, but isn't Jay-Z damn near 50? Jay-Z is
over 50.
He's oh my goodness. So maybe she can have a.
It's possible. But it's possible. But like you said, though, most of them, if they're 50 now, they didn't start when they was 49. They probably started when they was 20. I'm just saying, typically that's how I go. But
I think she can rap. She's just too old to me. What do you? And plus 4 children. Let's be reasonable here. Do you think she could have a successful rap career?
probably
Anybody?
not. Probably not. I mean, not even with her name. I mean, and she can come out and rap good. I just think that her lifestyle is totally different. You know, I mean, to do that.
Yeah, she's a mom. She's got kids. She also has this she's opening a YouTube channel. And what is it called? Not for Lazy Moms website and all that. She has the fame to move on and do something else, I think. And does she act? I don't know if she acts.
No, I don't think she acts.
And also too, I think Monique could do a spinoff. Would you watch it?
Yeah.
No.
I would.
Before you said no, you wouldn't watch a spinoff?
I like
No,
Monique.
I don't. No.
Why? You think she's boring?
I mean, to me, it's crazy because we have people saying that there was no show without Monique this season. There was no show without Gizelle, right?
Well,
she was the puppet master. She played Monique.
That's
That
true.
was all that Monique did this season,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
She put a battery in Monique back and we watched it go.
Are you saying that we love to hate Gizelle? Is he right, Perry? No Gizelle, no storylines. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't like her, but I wouldn't fire her because she's so messy. And if she's not being messy, you still find drama by looking at her lifestyle and what she's going through with the pastor. So having her around still entertaining.
So then is Gizelle the new Kenya?
Huh?
Is Gizelle the new Kenya?
Gizelle ain't nothing like Kenya. Gizelle would have had to train her on the reunion. Gizelle would have had to train her backstage. She would have bought Gigi out. We would have heard about it on the show. We would have heard the words come out of Gigi's mouth. So Gizelle is nothing like Kenya.
Why I think the two are different. Kenya has her own storyline with Mark. Take away the arguing that Kenya does and all the stuff. She does show and is vulnerable about her real life. The way she got treated by Mark, that's intimate. We don't know nothing about Gizelle because nobody felt anything about this fake relationship that she had with Jamal. It was just a mess every time it came on the screen. Were you interested in Jamal and Gizelle's storyline? Gabor, I'm not going to ask you, Perry, because you hate everything Gizelle does.
I wasn't interested in nothing. The only 2 people that had a storyline this season to me was Candiace and Monique. That was and Gizelle.
Right.
Gizelle by herself. Robin was uninterested. She could have left Karen. Karen tried to, you know what I'm saying, ride off the coattail of the fight. She wasn't really interested. She wasn't interested at all. Wendy could go. I forgot Wendy was there last night. Eddie had more presence than her. And Ashley, I mean, the season outside of the fight, it was really nothing.
Yeah. Someone says, why didn't Andy pursue Gizelle's fake relationship? He did not bring up one question, did he, about the fake relationship? Is this person right? I don't think he did. Not one question. Well,
No.
that's the Lisa Rinna of the show.
He was too busy attacking Monique.
Yeah.
He was not attacking Monique.
I mean, he did not ask about the fake relationship, and everybody want to know about it. I mean, they gave this what did you call this ridiculous excuse as to why Jamal wasn't there. They did not touch the truth of what was really going on with Pastor Jamal.
So this reunion showed Gizelle to be a liar, right?
Yeah.
Because she lied. I guess she lied to Jamal and told Jamal that Chris was trying to attack her, and Chris was telling his congregation to watch the reunion because Chris was trying to attack her and Robin. That didn't happen, right? And so she also, Gizelle also was on the Bravo chat room, and she said till this day, Monique didn't apologize to Candiace. And we saw last night Monique apologized to Candiace.
She did. She apologized to Candiace, but Candiace basically said, too late, in so many words. I mean, just because a person apologizes to you doesn't mean that you always accept their apology, but it's the right thing to do. So we got to give Monique credit for that. Some people said that it was insincere. It didn't feel right. What do you think about the apology?
So this is the thing. So it's like when Candiace apologized to Monique early in the season, it wasn't a good enough apology. You know what I'm saying? So we can't have it both ways. If somebody apologizes, they apologizes, right? If somebody apologizes, they apologize. So it can't be, oh, Candiace's apology wasn't good, but we have to accept Monique's, right? She apologized. Candiace has a right to accept the apology or not, right? But Monique did apologize, and we do have to acknowledge that.
Yeah, she did apologize. I mean,
no, I agree.
I mean, I hate
you
when
put your
people
hands
say
on
it
me. I
wasn't.
don't care what you went through. I don't care what you went through with your daddy. You're not about to put your hands on me because you don't trigger. You know what I'm saying? That ain't good enough for me.
Yeah. So you're saying that Candiace has a right to not accept an apology, and that's with anybody. Yeah. Just because you did something and you messed up a person's life or you hurt their feelings or whatever, and then you say sorry, all isn't forgiven. That's apology was for you to not look like a bad person and acknowledge that you did a bad thing.
I think Monique was classy by apologizing. It came a year later. I mean, like I said, I wish she would have did it earlier, but at the time, people feel how they feel, right? But she did it and went through the whole thing, got stuff off her chest, and then quit and moved on. I think that's a good thing for her.
Now, let me ask you this. Since Monique did quit, does it change things for you, Gabor, about Wendy? Because most people say, Wendy, bye-bye, you got to go. But
Wendy and Robin got to go.
Robin,
there's no use for, I'm sorry, there's no use for them there. There's no use for them.
Yeah.
And I go back to what I said. Mrs. French was looking for housewives in the area. Okay. Now,
listen, Wendy has got to go. She did not fascinate me. I wasn't concerned about anything about her life. I don't care how many degrees you have. She's got to go. And I have a tendency to agree just this one time with Gabor. Robin, you're just waiting up a seat. Like, get out of here. Like, please.
Robin won't go nowhere.
Because
Andy favorite is Gizelle.
Yeah.
Robin is her little sidekick. Yeah. That's like having Morris Day and no Jerome. Okay. So she's good. But the thing is, I seen this morning, I ain't really read the article, I just seen the title that Wendy was considering quitting the show. Well, are you really considering quitting or are you getting a boot to? I don't know.
And see, this is the thing that these women do on the show that I don't like. If Eddie was already having problems with his family, why magnify the situation by bringing it on the show, right? If we really wanted Eddie to have a relationship with his family, certainly bringing cameras around is not going to make it better. If they wanted to come around, they damn sure don't want a camera shoved in their face. You know what I'm saying? Telling them how wrong they was.
You think that's Bravo's fault or Eddie's fault?
I think it's Wendy's fault. Let's talk about your mama. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about you and what you got going on and your side of the family.
You're right. They never dug into that part of the story. Was Wendy's family. And we know that if any blogger mentioned Wendy's family or did a whole thing about the caste system and how she was of the bottom caste, she would strike their videos and get them taken down. And that's when I stopped liking Wendy, before the show even aired. But she didn't want to talk about it. They didn't touch that. All Wendy do was be Candiace's yes man and point out other problems of the show, but she didn't point out problems in her real life, like they are in debt. She did not talk about that. She did not.
And I just got this word too. Monique's on this other show, and she had said that Bravo booked her at another hotel, different than all the other people. Them separated.
Because the writing was on the wall.
I mean, well, okay. You book them at separate hotels, but you put them on the stage together.
Well, the hotel was at the... They were in a ballroom of the hotel, right?
Oh, yeah, they were in the ballroom. So she was in a completely different hotel. Bravo does not...
It seemed like they were all in the same hotel.
Well, according to...
Yeah, my source saying that Monique is saying that Bravo booked her at another hotel.
They don't... Listen, we could all agree.
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
Real smug with Monique. He didn't even touch any of the Gizelle storylines about the relationship being fake. Whatever the reason, if it's Mothers Against Violence, they wanted Monique gone.
But we talked about Gizelle the first episode. So, you know what I'm saying? Each housewife get a certain time to talk about it. So get a certain slot at the reunion. And they talked about Gizelle's relationship being fake at the end of the first episode and at the beginning of the second part of the reunion.
You don't think that Andy was coming for Monique?
I
Let me
don't.
clean something up real fast.
He was shading Candiace, and I mean, I feel like that he shades all of the girls, right? But I think that people, when it comes to Monique, people don't think that Monique can do any wrong, right? Monique can do wrong too, and she can get shaded just like everybody else. The only thing that I think that he said that he shouldn't have said last night was, I felt like when he was asking Monique, did she rap? And then they cut it for him to say, well, it's not good. I think that he was meaning the song was not a good look. You know what I'm saying? But I can agree that was wrong and it came off as wrong. But I don't see what he did different to Monique than he did. He was shading Monique. He made fun of Candiace getting dragged. He read questions where people were saying that Candiace got dragged. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he treated Monique any different.
He was coming for Monique, saying that she was cold. She wasn't. You don't care about what you did. I've seen this time and time again, and I know when Andy is going after somebody. And
okay.
He was. Go ahead.
Let me clean this up about the hotel. You're right. She ended up staying at the hotel, but not because Bravo booked her there. She talked to Karen, and Karen had let her know that they were staying there. Then Monique, with her own money, went and booked her own room there because they can't stop her from staying there. So technically, they was in the same hotel, but it didn't make sense when you're gonna separate them like that and then bring them on the same stage.
Andy not playing. He wanted Monique gone for whatever the reasons were. He wanted Monique gone, and I don't know if y'all noticed the pattern. When he wants you gone, he'll turn on you, just like he did Nene, just like he did Vicky. He will turn on you. But everybody's saying that that he's treating the Black housewives different than he does the white housewives, and they give the example of Teresa Giudice. What do you think about that, Gabor?
So I don't watch any other housewife, but to my knowledge, we've never seen another housewife. We've seen another housewife grab tail. We've seen it with Portia. I've seen somebody in New Jersey drag somebody in the store by their hair or whatever, but we never seen another housewife physically slap or punch somebody, right? We've never saw that before. We never saw Portia do it, even when she fought the girl in the alley, but that wasn't another castmate, and we couldn't really see the punch, right? When she got into the fight with Cynthia was kicking her. Portia was standing on top of her, and she looked like she was getting ready to do damage, but she didn't get a chance to because Cynthia was kicking her, right? Mm-hmm. And we've seen a fight happen on Married to Medicine, right, between Toya and Mariah the first season, but we've never seen another housewife slap or punch another housewife. Mm-hmm. And to my knowledge, because like I said, I don't watch all of them. But to my knowledge, I don't think that we've ever seen that.
Like, not between the housewives, between the two guys on Joe Giudice and the other Joe, they physically had a fist fight. Perry, do you think that what people are saying that Andy mistreats the Black housewives? What is your opinions on that?
I think so. I think he treats them less than others. Yeah, I would say so.
I think, and I could be wrong, and people will let me know when I open up the lines, that Andy is about Andy Cohen. If he likes you, he will make you rich and make you the belle of the ball. I think if he doesn't like you, he will turn on you. And I think that has nothing to do with race. I've seen him do the white people like that. I've seen him do Nene like that. And Nene never brought up race until it was her turn. But I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm
saying he would overlook somebody if he felt like he needed that horse. That's why he's riding with Gizelle.
He loves Gizelle. Do we all agree on that? Gizelle's his girl.
Yeah. So, that basically, I think that if he feel like he don't need you, he go out there a little harder with the Black women that he even do with the white ones.
Well, here's another question.
I don't think that Monique is beyond reproach. She attacked somebody on the show. She should be punished. I don't think she should be fired or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But whatever Portia had to go through, she has to go through it. You know what I'm saying? She has to go through it. I don't think that she should get special treatment just because she's a fan favorite. And I don't dislike Monique. I just disagree with her actions this season. Now, what I will say is Candiace's excuse when Chris asked her how come she didn't come to Monique, that wasn't a good enough excuse for me. It was going to come out anyway, and we hear all of this stuff. If Busy's one of my good YouTube friends. If I heard somebody talking about Busy like that or talking about Busy child, I would have the phone on speakerphone so he could hear what they were saying. Right?
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, Busy, you heard that right in front of them, right?
Mhm.
That wasn't a good enough excuse for me from Candiace for me. That wasn't a good enough excuse.
Let's go back to the Andy thing for a minute, because now Nene's jumping on it, saying he's racist. I think Mariah came out and said the same thing. So it's all starting to be a big mess. Is Andy Cohen to you, Perry, a shrewd businessman, a smart businessman, or a user?
Well, I mean, he's smart because he's keeping the show going, and he made it smart. But it's how you go. But you can be smart and still be ignorant at the same time.
Right. Like, let's take example for him not firing people, just giving you the runaround.
Right. Yeah.
Is that a being a good businessman, or is he?
It's not a business because you're not going around. He fired 15 people last year. He didn't. He'll say they quit.
What about you, Gabor? Do you think Andy's a smart businessman, or is he just a cold-hearted user?
I think that he was, so with Potomac specifically, I think he was, between a rock and a hard place, right? Because I don't think that he really wanted to. I mean, Monique had to be punished. I'm sorry. I don't dislike Monique, but I do think that she needed to be punished. She needed to be punished. I just think that with Monique being gone next season, we've seen Gizelle and Robin come after Karen for 4 seasons. You get what I'm saying? We don't want to see that no more. Because that's what the new storyline is going to be. You know what I'm saying? They're going to come after Karen. That's what they do. They did it even this season. We don't want to see that anymore. We have to see something else. We don't want to see Michael sexually harassing people. We've seen it season after season. You get what I'm saying? We've seen it season after season.
Well, listen.
So let me ask you this though. So how come he get a pass though?
Michael?
Because you know why he get a pass.
Well, I was just throwing a question out there. That's how I just asked you how come he
went. Because he's rich and he's white.
Well, no, whatever.
The second part.
Yeah. And I'm just saying that if he should be penalized too, right? Mm-hmm. If he fondling other men.
I mean, so listen.
Whatever, but I mean,
this is going to be a big deal. That Andy Cohen is racist, and can you see it just gaining traction? Started by Nene. She was the first one to say it, but Nene's upset because they fired her. Demoted her, whatever word you want to use. But she never said Andy was racist when she was the belle of the ball. Not one time did she call him racist. But the minute that he didn't want to work with her no more, he's racist. What do you think about that?
I think, whether it's racist, whatever, I just say this. I noticed that his tone and his mannerisms are different when he approached a black woman than the white ones. Now he give them all shitty contracts when he getting rid of them. He'll use them up to his own.
Well, I'm asking you, when Nene was at the top of her game and that was her best friend and they were, I love you more. Right. Was he did he seem racist to you then?
No.
Explain that. Then how is he seems racist to you now?
No. I mean, it was nothing for me to see. He was treating her okay, is what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying at the end of the day, yeah, Nene should have said something a long time ago. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm saying if a person was racist and you knew it, she should have stuck up for the other people.
That's what I'm trying to say. Right? Yeah.
So I get that part. But I was saying like the racist thing I can say maybe not, but I just know his tone is totally different. Maybe when he around black women, he feel like he get to act a certain way. With his mannerisms and his tone. I'm not exactly sure, and I can't say for certain.
I don't know if I want to say that he's racist, but I don't think that he treats the black housewives the same way he treats the other housewives, right? We've seen on Atlanta and we've seen on Potomac that these girls are really bringing it. There's really beef, right? There's really storylines going on. You know what I'm saying? Really serious storylines that catches people's attention, and it's affecting these people's families. And we see these girls in Beverly Hills that get to talk about, little bitty BS, and they still get paid more than the girls from Potomac. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think
go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. You can go ahead.
It's going to be a big thing that we got to deal with coming up. And it's all started by Nene Leakes. And it all started by Nene Leakes after she got fired. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this is going to be a mess. This is going to be a mess, but it's gaining traction, gaining steam. I had people come out to me and said, can we come on your channel and say we want to boycott Bravo? It's gaining traction, but we can't forget how it was started. And I think that Nene put it out there for her own reasons, her own self-gain, because if she really thought he was racist, she probably should have said something earlier.
If he's racist, Nene, what do you want? Because it seems like that you still want your contract back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you just can't say that because you want to be on the show.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The only reason I can see them paying these other housewives more than they pay Potomac and Atlanta. Well, not Atlanta. I think they're the highest paid, but it's a couple of franchises that get paid more than Potomac. Is because they have Beverly Hills has higher ratings than Potomac. So I can see that, but I just feel like the girls from Potomac have been bringing it season after season.
Yeah, this is another mess. This show has got so much going on right now. That's why they're beating Atlanta, which is the #1 rated show in the ratings. Now, you mentioned that you think that Karen's going to be a victim next season.
Mm-hmm.
This might be good for her because last night Ray proposed, and no, I did not give
child.
I did not care.
He didn't propose. If he didn't get down on his knee, it wasn't a proposal.
I was not perturbed. I was not touched in the slightest way. I'm thinking Karen can be very boring at times. So maybe it's a good thing that they're coming after her. And I agree with you, Gabor. They're coming guns a-blazing. They needed a new victim. They have took the playbook from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and they have become the cast that they signal out. They weed out one person, and everybody goes after that one person. And that's what I think they're doing, especially with Gizelle's whole Jamal thing blowing up in her face. Listen, nobody cared. It didn't feel real. Everyone got mad at Jamal for trying to hide his wrongdoings and bringing down New Birth. And so what else is Gizelle going to talk about? She has to go after people, and Karen is her next victim. But the only thing different about Karen and Candiace is Karen didn't hit her, so they don't have that to. And I feel that Karen can hold her own against Gizelle. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think so. That's all she got to do is keep bringing up the husband. that quietens her up.
What do you think, Gabor? Can Karen hold her own?
Yes, she can hold her own. But if we look at the cast now, with Monique being gone, it seems like all of the Karen doesn't have anybody. Wendy has came after her. Candiace has came after her. Gizelle has came after her. Robin has came after her, and Ashley. Ashley was even after her last night. So Karen is going to be out there by herself.
Well, maybe not, because I'm sure they're going to replace Monique. And they go ahead and get rid of Wendy. That's 2 more housewives coming in. So maybe she got a chance to hook up with those 2.
Period.
We've seen in previous seasons that the girls that are new on the show wants to be under Gizelle's thumb for whatever reason.
Well, yeah, no, I get it because she's really crafty and miserable.
All right, what else do I have to talk about before we start taking calls? Let's talk about. We talked about Ray and Karen. We talked about Wendy. Horrible performance. She needs to go. I think we caught up. So now let's take calls. Let's start taking calls.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Sky. How are you? What did you
think about? Good. I definitely thought that Andy was gunning for Monique.
Yeah.
I think it's because Monique isn't putting up with Andy. You know, she isn't. Andy likes the housewives that suck up to him. You know, that fall in line, that worship him. If you step a toe out of line or stand up for yourself, then he doesn't want you on the cast. He got rid of Carol from New York because she said that he was full of
I remember that. That's true. Yeah. You have to
worship him. And, you know, she said that she didn't need the Bravo check. So I definitely thought that he was really coming for her compared to being a mediator. He definitely had an opinion and he was showing it. That's
what do
what
you
I
think
think.
about this other problem that we got brewing, that people want to start petitions to boycott Bravo because they think Andy Cohen is racist? It started with Nene Leakes. Do you think he's racist? And it's a tough one.
I mean,
It's hard.
obviously I'm obviously I'm white, so I think, but I definitely feel like he he shows a difference in demeanor when it comes to the Black housewives compared to the white housewives. Always, if there's a physical altercation, if there's a physical altercation on the season, he'll put a disclaimer on the reunion. We don't condone violence, but there's been physical altercations on all white cast, and he doesn't give a disclaimer. He doesn't make it this big thing.
Who was it? Because I know Joe Giudice and Joe Gorga fought. Who else had a physical?
Danielle and Margaret from New Jersey.
That's right.
Brandy.
Yep.
Brandy slapped Lisa Vanderpump in the face.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You're right. Yeah.
She also threw a glass of wine in Eileen's face for no reason.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So there's been physical altercations, not to this extent, but to me it just feels like there is a double standard, and it's kind of portraying the aggressive Black woman stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel like they're trying to paint Chris as an aggressive Black male as well, when he was trying to defend Monique.
Well, they did, yeah. Well, but he did say crazy things in the tweets, remember? What about, how do you feel about Nene planning this boycott? You think it's justified?
I think her motive is not pure. I think it's all, I think she's a little butthurt that she didn't get what she wanted. She didn't get the pay that she felt she deserved. And, Nene is all about Nene. Let's just call it like it is. I love Nene, but at the end of the day, she has a fragile ego. So
you're saying that if Nene would have stayed on and in Andy's good graces, she would have never mentioned a boycott.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta face it head on, guys, because it's coming, and she's getting more and more traction, and people are signing this boycott, and it's an issue we got to talk about. So that it is what it is. And last question is: do you think that Karen's the new target?
Oh, definitely. I think Monique's gone. So that was who they were going to have their target on. But now that she's out of the picture, they got to find someone. So I feel like their eyes are definitely on Karen. I want them to bring on either a friend of Karen or one of Jamal's mistresses.
Well, I mean, that would be good.
I want Katie back. Do you think Katie would be good, Sky?
No.
I think she's... I feel
Katie
like the show was...
Katie was only one of the girls that went for Gizelle.
Let me tell you about Katie. You have to admit, Gabor, there's some serious things going on with Katie.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
No. Thank you, Sky, for calling in. I have a long line today. I appreciate it. I really do.
Thanks,
Thank you for calling in.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye, Sky. Happy New Year.
Oh, I forgot to say Happy New Year. Don't nobody want to hear from Katie. Hi, AM. I'm glad you called in.
Sharrell,
Hey.
Hey, AM.
Hey, good boy. How's it going?
Fine, you?
Good, good.
What did you think about last night? Just the whole thing. Hi, Cynthia. Sinitra.
Hey, Sinitra.
Hey, Sinitra.
Hey, darling.
Because listen, AM, we do have this problem that we got to deal with now, and that's people wanting to boycott Bravo because they're saying Andy Cohen is racist. What do you think about that?
I think so. Last night when you got off, I made some phone calls and we overlooked this. I think we all overlooked this. And I won't mention certain names because it's political, but look back over Candiace's background, okay? Candiace has political ties.
Okay.
Very, very heavy political ties.
Okay.
If you notice, remember I told you that Chris has a lot of pull because of who he is in the DMV. So now what this has turned into is a battle of power. because Candiace has ties to some pretty powerful people in DC, but so does Chris. Monique had a top lawyer in DC. So remember, you kept saying somebody wants Monique gone. Like they're going too far to push her out the door. Somebody wants Monique gone. And from what I understand, this goes far beyond Andy and somebody at Bravo. Somebody really did want her gone. And they put their foot down that it needed to happen one way or the other.
I believe that. What do you think about that, Sinitra?
Well, actually, if we take it straight from the lady's mouth, because I dare not say horse, she's too pretty. Monique just said in her live interview on another channel that shall remain nameless that she was had not only gotten her contract, had received a phone call. She said she was actually excited to come back until she watched the final edited version of the part 3 of the reunion, and she was citing certain things that she saw that were not shown, certain things that were shown, and she felt like they were painting her and her husband in a light that was unpleasant. She did cite the fact that her husband, 10 years in the game, never had a scandal, and these people were really trying to paint him with the angry, black, savage diatribe, and she wasn't with it. She wasn't having it. Then she mentioned that they were careful to show what happened in the IG Live. Sorry, guys. They wanted to show what happened in the IG Live, but they did not show what caused it. Like that whole thing with Candiace and the tacky styrofoam plate. They didn't show any of that, but you could find that on IG Live and then take it out of context as though that man did not say, if I were a woman, I would, or I wish I were a woman so I could, which basically was saying, I clearly can't because I'm a man. So Gizelle with the whole...
You're saying she was set up.
Yeah, I think in a way she definitely was. And I think she saw it because she said after that, according to her, after that, she said she was livid. And she said she was so upset that she sent an email requesting to be let out of her contract. And she said that's what spurred her to make that move. And
it was a smart decision.
I do. Because like I said, I feel like she got what she needed from that reunion. Everybody saw, just like Gabor said, Gizzard Neck is a big old liar. And now everybody knows it.
And do you think that Gizelle is Andy's favorite?
Well, I think, you know what? It's a hard word because I feel like she's a favorite in a way, but I don't really feel like Andy has a favorite as though he's loyal to anybody.
Right.
Gizzard Neck is his go-to person to do the dirt because she's dirty enough to do whatever.
Yeah.
Andy
that's
is definitely
Gizzard Neck's value.
Andy is definitely self-serve. When Andy's done with Gizelle, he's gonna chew her up and spit her out.
Yeah,
sure, he sure will. And
that's
just
gonna
like
be the
he brought
bottom
up that old footage of Michael grabbing that dude's buns, when he's finished with Gizzard Neck, he's gonna bring up all the fraudulent relationships and he's gonna dig it all up and drop it at her feet.
Okay, do you think, Sinitra, Andy is ruthless or a good businessman? He does it to everybody. I'm trying to tell you guys.
Well, to be honest, being a good businessman sometimes includes being ruthless. However, I feel like you have to be careful because, you know, Bobby Womack said it best. When them skeletons come out the closet and chase you all around the room, you know, it's going to be nobody but you. Eventually, Andy's chickens are coming home to roost. And I want to know what he going to do other than get another bad perm. Somebody should tell me, please.
I don't understand the whole Andy is racist or treating Monique different thing if she actually got a contract, right? Do you think that there should be penalties for her for putting her hands on somebody?
I think she was. I think that first Andy was coming at Monique. This is my opinion. Andy was coming at Monique pretty hard last night. Now, was the fight, should there be consequences? Yes, but I just think on the outside looking in as viewers, the lengths that they went to try to paint her and Chris in a negative, like just something as simple as they try to edit to make it seem like Chris didn't speak to Andy, which he did because it was in the promo. We saw the clip. Right, it was in the promo. And I wanted to clarify what I said earlier with regards to the political thing. I don't want people to take it as I'm saying Candiace has political pull. She does not. That's not what I'm saying. But if Sinitra is the vice president of the United States and I got a problem, if I call Sinitra and be like, hey, Sinitra, I got an issue. If Sinitra makes a phone call, it's not that I have political pull, but I know somebody in power. So I wanted to clarify that Candiace doesn't have any political pull at all. But does she know people? Absolutely. Absolutely.
I definitely agree with you, AM. I think the other issue that we're seeing is, like I said last night, Sharrell, I feel like there was a lot of these already planned out, plotted out storylines. Nothing is organic. I think they had a plan for how things were supposed to run. Monique didn't play ball. They wanted to get rid of her. I honestly, in my heart, believe Monique only got that contract because Andy got backlash that he did not
expect.
he didn't bargain for it. He didn't expect it. He never saw it coming. He underestimated the backlash he was going to get after attacking that woman, because there's no other way to put it. You talking about her husband's money, and it wasn't just her. Let me just be very clear. He wasn't just openly, personally hostile toward Monique. It was also toward Karen. Clearly.
Towards who?
He let Candiace slide with them crocodile tears. He pretended he didn't hear nothing about Reverend Pimp Daddy and the other ladies. All of that was swept under the rug. We're gonna pretend like Wendy wasn't a hot mess. We're not addressing nothing. And nobody even brought up Robin's wig. I'm still trying to figure out why was there no questions concerning that damn wig.
I think that Gizelle had her chance in a hot chair on episode 1 of the reunion, right? That relationship,
but it was never addressed. Monique brought it out, and Andy said nothing. Everything they ever said about Monique, all 3 segments, he jumped in there and pounced on it. He was in the amen corner, co-sign and everything. When they mentioned Reverend Pork Chop and the girl, Andy ain't said nothing.
What's understood though, it doesn't have what's understood doesn't have to be explained. When Monique read those receipts, we knew they were real. When he asked her, was that his number? When Andy asked Gizelle, was that his number? And she said, yes, it is. It was done. You done. You
so
can go
how
home.
Come the things pertaining to Monique that were straightforward why weren't those things taken with that same energy? What's understood doesn't have to be explained. Simple things you chose not to film a woman for an entire year and then expect her to manufacture emotion that she's already gone through that you chose not to film. That was your problem, not hers. See, all of this nonsense. Yeah. But then when it came to things that really should have been addressed, or even the fact that Gizelle flat out lied on Karen and added a whole word floozy. Floozy is heavy. I've been called a floozy before. It don't feel good.
Go ahead,
and nobody even talked about it.
Hey, what's your response before I bring up another caller? What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, if you notice when Chris brought up the situation about the baby, what was Andy's response? Andy said, "Oh, we discussed that already. We talked about that already.
We talked about it 2 hours, and they never talked about it on the show."
But no, here's the thing, though. You can't tell a father that's coming on the stage for the first time and he wants to discuss a rumor about his child. Andy, your response was wrong. Maybe you should have worded it differently. You can't say to him, "Oh, we discussed that already. We talked about it already," because it was never rectified. And here's my thing, Gabor, and I want to know your take on it. Why didn't Andy chime in when Chris asked Gizelle, "Have you ever spoken about my child?" Andy was quiet, crickets.
Yes, he was. You could hear a rat piss on top.
Let me bring up another caller.
Gizelle didn't want to.
Adam.
Hi.
Sound off. What did you think about last night?
I was completely disappointed. I just, it was just atrocious. The whole setup, and you can't deny it. Candiace's whole plot video was exposed. It's all over online. She admitted there was a talk. You can't play games. Gabor, I know it's your girl, but at the moment, she needs to go downhill because she ain't going to go up anywhere. She may say, "I grew up in the country club," but she doesn't have that in her dignity because she doesn't clearly have integrity. That's what I'm telling you.
Well, let me ask you this,
Adam.
That
anybody nobody is denying that there was a plot, right? I don't think that anybody's watching the show is denying that. I don't think that anybody watching the show can deny that there's a plot. What I'm saying is that they didn't play the plot. The plot never aired. They never talked about it on the show.
Of course,
the only time they what?
You don't have to be a genius for that, but clearly the other 8 executive producers wanted to expose Andy's lie because it was just like, "Oh, that glass was never there. It wasn't there," and
that's
it was
not
exposed.
What he said. That's not what he said. What you're doing is taking parts of the conversation.
On what happens live.
What he said, What happened? Monique went on Watch What Happens Live and said that the reason why the fight started was because Candiace hit her in the mouth with the glass first. Andy said that is not what happened. Everybody saw Candiace swinging the glass. What y'all are doing is taking it and twisting the words up. The fight did not start when Candiace swung the glass. The fight started when Monique was flicking the hair.
That may not be the case, but he still said it never happened on air.
It never happened. She did not hit her in the mouth
Basically, whoever works in production is not Andy's friend, because everything that Andy and the Pip said never happened. Oh, she didn't do her hand like this. It happened. This never happened. It happened. It was never mentioned on the show. And it's like, okay, and let me say this, Gabor, you're absolutely right in that nobody actually said that sweet little baby's name on the show. However, let's tell the truth and shame the devil. After production, apparently, according to Candiace, Kleenex Candiace, they told them that they were not going to bring this into the show. Gizelle, Gizzard herself, decided to get in her confessional and still try to sneak that trainer crap in the back door in a confessional. And at that point, Monique still had not said anything until Kleenex Candiace and her infamous styrofoam plate did a live. At that point, she had to address it. Come on.
In the confessional, she never said that the baby belongs to. She never said anything about the baby. All she said was,
Gabor, we're saying the same thing. I said that she didn't mention the baby. What I'm saying is she tried to sneak it in the back door, and then Candiace jumped on live, Kleenex Candiace, and she put everything out, mentioned the baby and everything. That there was a clear timeline. At that point, when everybody, the bloggers, my mama, your mama, everybody mama, seen Kleenex Candiace and the styrofoam plate, Monique and her husband had to respond. Everything they had been holding down their throats like vinegar for 2 years, they had to address it, because now you are talking about their kid, whether they got on the show or not. Everybody knows y'all because of the show. Like, cut the
and when we seen more, when Candiace was on the show, when she was on the live.
Go ahead, Gabor, really quick. And then
when Candiace was on the live, she never related the baby to the trainer. Monique did that all on her own. Monique is the one.
No, you're absolutely correct. When Monique came on with her husband, Monique came to clarify, and she clarified. She told everything. What Monique did is what Usher said. If you gonna tell it, then you gotta tell it all, and that's what Monique did. And she was right.
Those words are on your mouth.
Let me jump in.
She's the one who.
Gabor, we got a long line. I'm trying to get everybody. Adam, another question. Do you feel that Gizelle played Candiace?
Of course. You don't have to have a PhD like Wendy to figure that out. And what I'm saying is that watching Wendy and Robin on the screen is like having the Oprah show on mute. Like, I'm sorry, I can't hear them, I can't see them. Like Oprah Winfrey, if she met any of these people, she would be like, "Get off my couch." Like, I'm telling you that Robin is only on the show because Andy secretly wants to watch Juan and Michael, make out. Because he wants to join that club. He wants to join that club, and it's simple as that. Like, obviously, I don't think Andy has any crush on Eddie. Like, I don't know. I may be wrong there, but he sure does on Juan, and he wants to join the Michael party. Let's be real here.
All right, let me start taking calls really rapidly. You guys stay on the screen. I'm gonna start taking these calls because I'm over an hour now. Hi, pretty. Can you tell me what you thought about last night's episode really quick?
Baby, I am a big fan of you, Sharrell, okay? I'm going to tell you, I can't hear because they talking.
They who?
I can't talk because they talking. Yeah. How you doing? How you doing today?
Good. What did you think?
Baby, it was good. Okay, it was good to me.
Yeah, I liked it too. Do you feel that Andy went after Monique?
Okay, I'm going to tell you this.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you this. The way I feel last night is, it was really good. Because the best thing, I'm going to tell you the best thing that happened that I've seen was when Chris Brassett and Chris Daniels made up.
Uh-huh. And
I like it. And I love Monique and Candiace. And I'm praying that they get their friendship back on up.
Me too. I sincerely hope that.
Yeah, me too. Listen, I got to take a lot of calls. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate the call. Thank you, pretty.
Bye-bye, darling.
Bye-bye. So sweet. We got a lot of calls, guys. Let's just try to rotate these calls in. Hi, Cynthia. How are you? Can you sound off really quickly?
Yeah, I actually had time to make notes. So.
Oh, my God. Give us the edited version, because I'm over it.
The edited version is this. And this is my number one thing, but I want to say something after this, okay?
Okay.
But I think who is responsible for this whole, setup and everything is Charisse. I think now that she is done with her divorce and I think she is wanting to get back onto the show.
Ooh.
And so she got with the girls. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Candiace's mom or something like that. But that's just what I think. Next year we'll find out. If she comes back, then we'll find out.
Okay.
But as far as Robin and Gizelle, I personally think that Gizelle is the live-in producer, meaning they actually she is like the brown noser. She probably has Andy's poo all on her nose. And he says what she wants to say, and she goes and she manipulates everything. But really, why is she on the show? Is she rich? No.
No, she's not.
What part of a Real Housewife does her and Robin actually stand for? The Real Housewives were supposed to be these rich and famous housewives that we get to see on the inside of what they live like.
I'm going to tweet Andy Cohen this question. It makes a lot of sense. What is Gizelle bringing to the show? She's not rich. She's not a wife. Why is she there? Besides,
she is just a producer. I'm telling you, she is just a producer. That's I swear to God, that's all she's doing. She is literally just like last night. He literally talked. Andy looked at Robin and said, "I know I ask this every season, but are you and whatever his name is going to finally get married? Juan, are they finally going to get married? It's like they're like the Green Eye Bandits. They are nothing without each other.
Yeah,
they can't live on like. Why doesn't Robin take Gizelle to task about how every time
that's never going to happen?
It's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
It's like
you know what I'm saying. But if it was anybody else. But my last thing that I was going to say is, as far as why they're not going to fight or why they didn't fire anybody else because of the fighting and everything from before. They did that. This summer changed everything. Ever since they had zero tolerance for the whole Vanderpump crew, I think that now they have fallen down the slippery slope and opened up Pandora's box. If he does not take, or the company, Bravo, does not take a stern stance against domestic violence in this cancel culture, they would never survive. So unfortunately, Monique, hopefully she'll come back. Hopefully she'll see that she has a lot of fans and she'll decide to just stay on to this show. But if not, like you said, Sharrell, she has her own business. She has now a record thing. And she also is starting a podcast. So
yeah, I heard about that. Well, listen, Cynthia, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate the call. Last night was good, and it doesn't stop here. This thing is going to go on and on and on. Thank you for calling. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Sharrell?
Yes.
I wanted to talk about the Nene situation with the boycott.
Do it really quick.
Yeah. Personally, I'm all for it. I signed the contract. The petition rather. And so did a lot of my friends and family members. I'm from London. I live in a diverse town. I call it a town because when you know people in London, you kind of know the whole crew. That's just how it works. And
you think Andy Cohen is racist?
I think to some degree, yes. I feel like, Nene may have been the second highest earning Bravo. Like, she wasn't quite Lisa Vanderpump earning $2 million on the Housewives and earning 2.5 on Vanderpump Rules, but she was the second high fly on that whole network. If you don't want to include the show that gets renewed for whatever reason, Watch What Happens Live in a biased sense. But but like I'm telling you, like I do 100%. You know, I don't know really if Mariah's title is a vanity title or if it's proper like Vanderpump's one is, but they did try to wreck her show. At the end of the day, it was her concept, and you know, I feel like there is a double standard. You know, Cynthia may have said, you know, oh, only this year with a Vanderpump are they going to take that seriously? But if Brandy can hit any woman, regardless if Brandy or that woman is of any race or any nationality or whatever, it should be off limits. And did he really mention it in a serious way? No, at the reunion, it wasn't really until Lisa alluded to Andy did he even mention a damn thing about it. And clearly these other 8 executive producers on Potomac weren't on his side because he didn't get the whole he didn't get 100% of what he was going to, because it's all on the internet, basically.
So you signed the petition.
I think that we need to be serious.
Yeah,
I think that we need to
wait. I signed that petition because I believe something needs to happen, and I'm all for it. And I don't think there is a fair stance. And like Perry said at the very start of the video, the mannerisms are different. And if you can't realize that, please rewatch every reunion, because in the reunion it is just completely obvious. And for me,
go ahead, Gabor.
I think that we have to be very serious and very cautious when we use words like racism, right? There are real people that are out there going through stuff that is serious, and we cannot play with no reality show. When you do stuff like this and you don't get your way with people and you want to automatically call white people racist without any evidence, you make it so that white people don't even want to deal with black people, because as soon as they don't get their way, they can holler it's racist. This person is being racist towards me. So we have to be real careful with using that word.
So really quickly, you don't think that Andy Cohen's racist, Gabor?
I think that he makes a difference in some of the Black Housewives as a whole compared to other shows, but there are ratings that are higher than the Black Housewives. Do I think that he's treated the reason why Nene hasn't popped off is because he was racist towards Nene? No, Nene has a nasty attitude. Nene messed up her own self. Nene messed it up her own career.
Yeah. But outside of Nene, see, and the thing is too, we have to be very careful, because when it comes to Nene was tired of shucking and jiving, basically, to receive a higher check. She was tired of shucking and jiving. So basically, they told you don't want to act like a Negro no more, so we can't have you here.
Oh my God. All right. Listen, guys, this is a good conversation. This is definitely a topic we got to deal with. Unfortunately, I'm just straight up out of time. I am so sorry to you guys that are backstage. This was a heated conversation. People had their point, and I just don't have the time. We've gone over an hour. It is what it is. I wanted to thank everybody in the super chat that supported the channel. You don't have to donate, and you do. So I appreciate that. I thank everyone in the chat. This was a really, really good episode. And I don't think we're over with this whole Atlanta stuff. I mean, this whole Potomac stuff. Like Adam says, we got to deal with the boycott issue. We got to deal with Monique. We got to deal with the new Karen being the new target. It's going to go on and on and on, and I'm going to keep you guys updated on all of it. But unfortunately, I'm just fresh out of time. I'm just out of time. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, my panel. You guys were spirited and opinionated, and I loved every single minute of it. And Adam, I thought you were quiet. You did very good today. All right, guys, I got to end it here. I appreciate everything. On 3, let's say goodbye, guys. 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Bye.